All right, welcome back everybody. Driving Dreams Restorations, Nathan Wilson. Gonna do the back door now, the rear door. This is a 64 Lincoln. 61 to 65 are very similar. 66 and 67, a little bit different, but pretty much like the same idea as far as the adjustments and the regulator and stuff like that. So start with getting the motor out. Like I said, an extension on a small, like 1/4 inch socket with a 3/8 tends to work pretty well. And you want to try to hold on to all of the little nuts, screws, you know, all that shit. So there's the motor. This is another thing you definitely want to hold on to. Don't lose that. It's kind of a pain in the ass to try to find and expensive. So always put all your nuts and bolts and screws back where they were. That's the best way to not lose them. Either that or in little baggies, but even the little baggies sometimes get lost. So like I had said before, you might want to go ahead and do something kind of like this, just to kind of give you an idea where all the adjustments were. And you should probably let that dry before you start taking shit out, but what are you going to do? So these are the upper stops. They also, like I said, are just like similar to the front windows. It has the adjustment, kind of makes it line up right. It's more important on the rear doors, and especially with the convertible, because you want that glass to kind of line up with the weather stripping on the convertible top. So that's you need that adjustment. These two and this one down here, not sure if you guys can see it, but there's like I think a 9/16 bolt here, and the rest of these are all 1/2 inch. They adjust the track, the front track that the window slides in. Then you've got one here, one down here that adjusts the rear track that the window slides. These of course are for the hinge. Same thing, paint. You can see I a long while ago did the gray. Do the same thing so you can kind of see where things are lined up if you're going to be removing your doors. What else? And then this is these two bolts are for the lower stop, and then just the 4 for the regulator. So it's real similar to what we did on the front door. And I wouldn't even probably make the video, but as soon as I post the one for the front door, somebody's going to say, hey, can you do one for the back door? So no big deal. And like I said, I'm starting to do some shorter videos that I don't have to edit as much, so I can get more of them. And shit always disappears, man. It's amazing how try to keep up with these things, because I mean, even in the door, you'll be looking for 10 minutes sometimes for a piece like this because it fell in like some kind of weird crack. So let me think about this for a second. And try to retain all of these washers and stuff. These are kind of important. So you see how that left the little square, and it left the teeth mark and everything. You see exactly where these things were. I think you guys can see that. That's why it's important to kind of shoot a little bit of spray paint on them. This is probably not going to come out until I start moving the window, but I might be able to go ahead and slide it off the regulator. All I did was slide that off of the rollers. You don't always have to do that right then. It'll kind of slide itself off when you're wiggling the glass and trying to get it out of the back door. And then of course you're going to want to mark all this stuff: left rear, left rear, left rear. In my case, I got to write 64 on it because I'm dealing with, I got parts from all the different years. Just going to get this out of the way. Probably not 100% necessary to move at this point, but it does make things a little bit easier. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So the one thing that's important on the rear windows that you don't have on the front, and this is I guess only for a convertible, there's a stop. Man, I probably need to get the camera over here, but you'll see it in a second. There's a little tab that sticks out. Let me pull it out. It's again another 1/2 inch nut. Really? Fucking extension. See if I can do this by hand. It is not hand tight. Come on, bitch. Alright, so this little tab right here, that is for the knife switch. It should have this little piece of nylon on it that spins, and that catches the knife switch as it goes up and down. So you're going to want to take that off, or you're not going to get this window out once you get everything loose. So go ahead and take, that's not mandatory really to take the bottom lower stop out, which that's not it anyway, it's right here in the middle. But it just kind of, you know, I'm going to be doing so much work to these doors, I always just take everything out. You know, I'm taking all the wiring out and putting all new wiring and stuff, so I'll have a little relay panel in here and stuff for the newer windows. So don't forget to put all your shit back. So you may not have to, you know, do all this. You obviously have to take the top stops off so the window comes out. And these will fall down in there and be a pain in the ass, so just try to get them if you can. Ah, bitch, see? Alright, so now the regulator is loose. The glass, theoretically, should come on out. You're going to have to do a lot of finagling. One on the back side, and again I'll probably have to show you this once I get it all out, but alright, so there's the glass, and set that there in a nice safe place, and then the regulator should just come on out. There you go, and there's the regulator. These springs, you want to make sure these are nice and tight and they're not broken or anything, because sometimes they snap from too much pressure, and then your window will really struggle to go up because that's a heavy window with all the chrome trim and all that. So you need that spring as like a helper spring to help it go up. But let's see, anything else to talk about? Obviously the knife switch and all that stuff is pretty self-explanatory, unscrewing everything. The vacuum actuated locks that I always change out and put electric. That's pretty much it. And then this trim piece, the same thing, the screws, same as what I talked about on the front. So there you go. And as far as the tracks, for the most part, you can leave those. Obviously, as you see, you don't have to loosen the tracks or take them out or anything to get the window and the regulator out if you're just trying to do your motors or something like that. you can leave the tracks. Once you start loosening all that stuff, then everything's gonna be, you know, out of whack, and it can take a long time to get stuff back to where everything lines up, because you start with one door and then you go to the front door, and you know, and then the vent window doesn't quite line up, and then you get that straight. Now the back doesn't line up, and then the convertible top, that you can spend days and days and days just trying to get everything to line up and kind of seal up correctly. And then if you get new weather stripping, everything changes again. So hope that video helped you guys. See you next time. Thanks.